So I haven't done one of these in a while, but I thought I'd check in. We're closing in on just about 909 subscribers right now. I see nobody's here just yet. So anyway, hopefully we'll have some attendees, and this will be saved in the library. So for those who are viewing it after the fact, you'll have a record of what's going on. A lot going on in the news right now with Chinese spies being caught, assassination attempts on a U.S. president, typhoons in the South China Sea, and affecting. Well, we're back. Are we on the right orientation? Can somebody tell me if this is landscape or portrait? On my phone it says it's portrait, but it tells me the orientation is locked. So if you could let me know in the comments. Where do I find my comments? I don't do this a lot, so let's see. Stick my face into it. What's that thing, that icon? At least 1 minute of video is needed to start. Oh, shoot, just a second here. I have to check out for a minute, guys. Just a second. Let me see if I can straighten this out. Good morning, Ian. So am I portrait or landscape? Just so I got this right. Should be like this. But it doesn't seem to be working. How are you feeling, Ian? Right now, you're the only viewer. So we'll have a one-on-one conversation. Yeah. So, where's the second one? Welcome aboard. Please let me know where you're watching from and what the sound quality is like. That's good. That's good. You take care, Ian. So stay away from all that water up there. If you're up in Luzon and you got flooded waterways, yeah, okay, I'll leave it like that then. Yeah, the waterways are going to be full of dengue, mosquitoes, and you're going to have a problem, possibly even with cholera. Who knows? So please stay away from the afternoon sunset. Welcome aboard, George. How you doing? So, what do you guys want to talk about? From my perspective, I was saying there's a lot going on in the news. We've got Chinese spies. I'm a bit cruisy. What's cruisy mean? Maybe let me know. Is it crusty? Anyway, yeah, we've got Canelon volcano in Negros is acting up again, so we could have a major eruption there. We've got typhoons hitting the north of the Philippines, flooding everywhere. We could talk about the whole Trump assassination thing if you want. You know, the rhetoric just keeps getting cranked up and up and up, and people just lose their minds. Everybody needs to take a pill, calm down a bit. Anyway, at the end of the day, the sun will rise tomorrow, hopefully. Well, we're back down to 1. Let me know what you think. My wife says that I'm looking better since we came from Canada. This page thing, the pager thing, yeah. Well, now the latest round is walkie-talkies, and I think even some laptops. I think the Masood has been able to put in exploding batteries in some of their devices, and if it's all out war, it's all out war. I think everybody knows I stand with Israel. They've paid their dues in the Second World War. People forget all that. They They need a homeland. Yeah. So I'm working on finishing the house off. I want to hold my sessions in a studio. I want to build a proper studio up there with proper sound mic, proper lighting, decent background other than my bedroom. Right now, because of the sound issues, you pretty well have to confine it indoors unless you want to hear roosters and dogs barking. Yeah. Yeah, it's a crazy world we live in. But now what's happening is they're theorizing, oh, well, maybe we could survive a nuclear war. What kind of world would that be? No, it's just crazy thinking right now. And I hear Russia's going to be maybe detonating a nuclear explosion to graphically show the damage that they can do. So I think it would be like, up in Siberia somewhere, like they typically do. But yeah, my wife started smiling at me the other night and saying, you look better than when I met you. I said, what? She said, yeah, I think I think our marriage has been good for you. I can't argue with that. Um, for those who come here looking for a new. Okay. You're 90 day 40. Oh, good. So you'll be going live pretty soon. Yeah. Well, I've been censored left and right. I'm not going to change. When they come for me, hand me the locking bracelets, and off we go. But freedom of speech, none of this would exist without it. You think the internet would ever have existed? You think your phones would ever existed? It's a real threat to the tyrants out there who've tried to install themselves into our system. Yeah. So, Philippine truce. Got any Philippine truce? Um, I saw some pretty good new bloggers out there with some honest criticisms about the Philippines. Um, they're friendly, but be careful what you share with them because there's a chismis. They do gossip. And yes, if you marry a Filipino, you're pretty much marrying the whole family. So check the family out, see what kind of people they are. And on this whole political season, what helps me get through it too is I know that people are emotional. I've dealt with the public for decades, and they do take things out of context so that they match what their own emotionally based decision is. All this rhetoric that's being thrown around, it's not changing anybody's opinion. You pretty much sit in one camp or the other. Either you want more government or less government. And that's the way it goes. So yesterday was laundry day. We had Helen come in and do the laundry. It costs us about 1,000 pesos per session, and she's in there most of the day. But she does a good job, all hand washed. So that's about $25. If you take your laundry out to the laundromat and were to do it by the kilo, probably come out to the same thing. But this way we got somebody working, and that's the thing in the Philippines. If you're retired and your children aren't bothering to contact you and maybe feel neglected, maybe you should look at coming here to the Philippines. Journeys in Bohol, how are you? How's the house going? Yeah, good morning, Phil. Philippine truce. They do not like to point with their lips, or they do like to point. Yeah, yeah, over there. Yeah, yeah. And they're loud. Never mind the roosters or the dogs. Filipinos are loud with the karaoke, and it'll be 5 o'clock in the morning. People are still sleeping, and I'll hear my neighbors shouting at each other. But I give them a pass because my kids, they fit right in. They're screamers. I mean, people know that my son's autistic, so he does tend to shout out, scream, make bunch of noise, so you get that too. So well, yeah, I was just talking about the the issues about living in the Philippines right now, and right now the government's been pretty stable, and they're starting to crack down on some of the illegal immigrants or visitors. I think they just caught half a dozen pedophiles that came in. Yeah, so we're uh, we're carrying on with the education system here, which is, we got Montessori, which helps, but I think when kids get to university, we'll probably send them back to Canada. Thanks, Ted. Yeah, we just got. I'll do another video at the end of the week. We just got our door frames for the interior, and the bathtub arrived, and the extra tank. See, one of the things for any new viewer that's watching this, you're always going to have problems. It doesn't matter whether you're in Cebu or out in the provinces. You get occasional brownouts, maybe in your subdivision, or water shortages. And part of that just has to do with the way the short-sightedness of a lot of the systems here. They don't maintain things. When it's broken, we'll fix it type of attitude. The other day, we had a truck drop off a probably about a 20-foot uh, long piece of metal channel to a neighbor, and he shorted out the subdivision because it was too high in the truck. Uh, the latest arrest, yeah, yeah. Well, if you're looking at the arrest record, there's a guy. What's it called? Speaking of Asia, or one of the other bloggers, he covers the the arrest warrants and all that. And we did try following up on one of them. We went and visited the prison. I did a video on that. Um, you don't want to end up in a Philippine prison, so if you're a drug addicted other than alcohol, I would stay away from the Philippines. Even alcohol. I mean, if you're drunk and you fall on the street, you can be taken advantage of. The Philippines isn't one for violent crime, but there are crimes of opportunity. If things are left unchecked, they'll pick your pockets, or they'll. It's basically it's non-violent crime, and that's an issue for some people. Um, yeah. So what's happening with the volcano? Will that blow up? No. I was thinking the other day about Krakatoa when it blew up in Indonesia years, well, over a couple of centuries ago, and it blackened the whole planet, and they had effectively 2 years of winter, and the crops all failed. What would happen if that happened again? And Yellowstone Park apparently is overdue for one. And imagine if that happened right over America. Anyway, that's just scaremongering. Um, so yeah, on the construction front, we're looking at probably mid-November. So we're gonna get. I picked up some lamps yesterday for over the bar. Um, yeah, the fluctuations of power. So yeah, well, thank you. You brought me back to my point was that so you're going to get brownouts and lack of water and all the rest of it, and even the internet providers are pretty unstable for the most part. I get it seems like every weekend for an hour I lose my internet, and I'm in Cebu. What's going on there? So we'll probably get a Starlink and put that up there as an override. This makes sense. Um, but although I do hear that the Starlink sometimes interferes with some of it gets interfered with by the other internet providers just by the frequency waves and the rest of it. So that's what I hear. I don't know. What have you guys heard about that? Um, yeah, I think they're trying to peddle the pedophile issue. I'll be back and forth on what I'm talking about, but I think the pedophiles, uh, they nailed one guy. I remember a few years back in Cambodia who thought he was being smart by swirling a picture in the RCMP, unswirled him, and they nailed him and threw him in a Cambodian jail. I don't know if he ever made it back to Canada or not, but you know, I was watching Donald Trump on Gutfield this morning, and he was mentioning about the drug addicts. The average drug dealer is responsible for 500 deaths in America, and why don't have capital punishment? And people don't seem to have the stomach for capital punishment, which is understandable. I mean, when you got YouTube blocking out, blurring the images because you might be offended and stuff like that, until people can really grasp reality. Unfortunately for me, when I was 10 years old, my grandmother dropped dead at my feet, choking on her teeth of a stroke, and it kind of wakened me up to the truth. And I see things from a different lens, I guess. But yeah, the pedophiles, I think they quietly usher them out. They don't want to issue any kind of public statement about that. Um, but I certainly feel safer here than I did in Western New Brunswick. I just sold my property there, and when we tried our year experiment in the Philippines, my own tenant who said she wanted to clean up her life and change it and all the rest of it, I offered her a lease to own on the property, and she invited her drug dealer friends in, and the cops were there every second or third day, and I didn't want my kids exposed to that. It's 9 a.m. right here. Well, it's a little after 9, I guess, 9:30, something like that now. But we started this right at 9 o'clock, and we've been live for 18 minutes. Um, yeah, so when when societies are prosperous, if you study history, you know what happened to Romans. It'll happen to Greeks. It happened to every civilization. As the exterior threat diminishes, a new threat from within arises. Well, they're going to be targeting Cebu as a major center, and they're afraid. Yeah. By the way, hi Matt. Thanks for your contributions. Matt's a regular, as is Ian, and they're all regulars here. We're closing in at 909. Ian's way ahead of us. I decided to go political for a few videos, and I got not recommended so much by the YouTube algorithm, as what they call it. Yeah, the dog. Yeah, our little dog has got some competition now. We've got a bunny rabbit now. We had a couple of chickens, and they kept getting out and flying all over the neighbors and shit everywhere. So I got fed up with that. The thing with bunny rabbits, though, is their shit is round and hard, and it's easy to pick up with a broom. So, and they make relatively good pets, you know. So we got a bunny rabbit as opposed to chickens. Chickens we sent off to Bakayan, which is a squatters village uh, that my wife knows the family out there. So they'll probably be eaten sometime soon. I think the rooster was a little scrawny, so I don't think he'll be getting into any fight. Ian got in trouble for that too. Yeah, remember Ian? You started showing a cockfight or something like that, and then they clamped down on you for that one. So yeah, we try to share our experiences, and if our experiences aren't sanitized to the desires of our provider, we get bumped. So yeah, we got the bunny rabbits now, and the dog's got some competition. And the dog's getting a little fat, but she's a happy little thing. So yeah, a man's best friend, eh? Uh, I don't let the dog sleep with me. No, because we let her go. I mean, we let her run around a bit, and if she's up with other dogs, I don't want fleas in my bed or God knows what. We had my boy was bothering her for a bit, and she bit him a couple of times. So we took him in get some rabies shots, 4 shots. Hopefully that would teach him a lesson not to play with the dog too aggressively. But no, still bites him. Bohol is a beautiful island. That was probably the first place we looked at property. We were looking at some raw jungle up on a hillside at one point, right in the interior, and I thought, nah, and we backed away. But one of the best ones was right on Alona Beach at the end of the strip. There was about 500 square meters right on a rocky cliff that right behind it, and I thought that'd be perfect. But we didn't act fast enough on that. It's so difficult finding real estate here in the Philippines. If you could share your experiences, we're still looking for property, uh, preferably up on the north side of Cebu Island, so that we don't have to rely on a ferry to get back if at some point I get a stroke or need to go to the hospital in a rush. We can get there. We're only less than what 5-10 minutes by car to North General Hospital here in Cebu, so that's convenience. Um, yeah. Then has anybody looked at the south side of the island in Anda? It's really beautiful. Oh, you broke! Congratulations! Yeah. Well, I don't intend to monetize either. is this is this was originally intended to be a method for me to stay in touch with my other children in Canada, but they avoid it like the plague. So yeah, yeah. Congratulations, Ted. And I want to see some more about your house there. That's a long driveway you got to be putting in there, eh? Yeah, we decided to redevelop what we had here. We had a townhouse and the rights to the adjoining lot. So we're allowed to maximize the size of the interior of the unit. So it's 8 meters by 10 meters on the plate, and we're going up 3 floors. And on the roof of the third floor, we'll be putting in solar panels, and the Starlink will be going up there. And oh yeah, the other thing I didn't mention is the water tank, uh, because the water tanks, in terms of water pressure, you may not always be able to rely on the pump that your subdivision or your well has. So when the power is running, you want to be able to have enough reserve that you can go at least a couple of days. So I got a 1,000 liter tank that'll be up at the top and should provide us with reliable water pressure. Then the solar panels will be about a 9.6 kilowatt system, which if you're following Wilma and Greg, I think theirs is around 5 or 6, and they run everything, including their pool, off it. But they were complaining about their reserve of their batteries, so we're putting in a 15 kilowatt hour battery, and I may put a second one in. And here, being in Cebu, we can sell back the surplus to Vico. I did that in Canada, and I didn't want to really do that here in the Philippines because I don't want them coming in and taking any kind of proprietary rights. But we've got a switch we can turn it off and on if we like at any time. Um, yeah, that's yeah. You know what? Just a suggestion. Instead of going all cement the whole driveway, right? Because it rains so much at times, you might want to consider 2 cement strips for tires and leave the middle portion open for water flow, and so it can escape into the landscape. Because you've got a fair grade there too, don't you, Ted? Um, or the other thing is to just go gravel for the most part and just leave it the last maybe 100 feet as cement, so you can shake the rocks off. But yeah, it's up to you, I guess. Hey, it's your project. Yeah, we like our projects, don't we, guys? So what else we got going here? So we're putting in just to explain I try to save this for my construction videos, but what we're trying to do is they talk about passive homes in the West, and a lot of it has to do with heat and cold. But here it's mainly damp and dry, and the heat is pretty much constant. So we wanted to try and create an overshadow of where the we can bring air in, so the shadows would cool the air, and so that's right in front of the living room area. And in the living room area, we're digging it down 40 centimeters. Um, oh, is it 7.5, 7, 15, about 16 inches deep, so that the cool air will spill into the basement. Yeah, well, the women have their ideas, but well, I built and renovated a lot of homes. I used to flip homes in Canada, so I know a fair bit, but not the construction techniques. And it's interesting, different parts of Asia, how different it is. Um, like in Vietnam, they'll build the wall first, and they'll pour the columns in between the wall sections. Here, they build the columns first for the most part and use the brick to fill it in. Yeah. Um, what else we got going? Oh, let me know what you want to talk about, guys. This is for you. Um, just so we stay in touch and you can prune the bush and make sure I'm giving you the right kind of fruit out of my blog. Ian's pretty good at telling me things I should stay away from, like the politics. And I think I did when I did the one on pedophiles. He said that they didn't get much play on that. People don't want to hear about that kind of stuff. Certainly not me as a parent. Um, having had 7 kids and experiencing some of the trauma that they went through. Yeah, women are good for the color schemes, I think, and the soft stuff like the curtains and the carpets and the rest of it. Actual layout, but guys, I know a common complaint you get in the West was the way they were building homes was they walk in and bang you right in the kitchen right off the bat. Yeah, or you're watching people eat. So if somebody knocks at your door, you open it and there's a bunch of people eating at a table. Well, I moved the dining room to the back of the house and the kitchen off the side of the garage so that when you walk in, you're walking the living area. But it depends on the format too. Mine's a 3-level structure. If I do one up island, I want it to be all on one level, a rancher bungalow, so I can walk in and hopefully with a body of water, either a pond or a pool to keep it cool. Which, back to my talk about passive houses and the cooling of it, the idea was to let the cool air spill in from the shaded area and then build a stairwell in the center with a gap wide enough so that it could create a draft that will eventually escape through an upper skylight, which is adjustable. So that's the plan. That's what we're doing. So we're on the third and final floor, and I've got to interface with the solar panel guys to make sure that we put the lockdowns, the tie downs for the panels, so that they don't blow away in a typhoon. This is a bit different from your typical Western because it's a flat roof, and we're in Cebu. The longitude level's 10.35 degrees, so you could set your panel at 10.35 degrees for the maximum. Oh yeah, it would be nice if you could hit a like. Yeah, that would be great. Thanks, Ian, for reminding that. For the first couple of years when I was on YouTube, I never asked anybody to subscribe. I just did it for whatever. But thanks, Ian, for coaching me. You're getting to me. You have a bigger audience, so thank you for that. Um, where was I? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the solar panels. So I saw this guy in East Africa who designed a school, and he built a roof where the solar panels were raised off the roof so that it created draft underneath the panels. So that's our goal, is to raise the panels slightly on the edge, maybe 20, 40 centimeters off the edge, so that the breeze can come underneath the panels and create a draft that will carry the heat out of the skylight area. It's all directed towards the skylight. But to do that, I got to make sure I've got some good solid anchors. Otherwise, when first typhoon we hit, it's all going to blow away. Yeah, 9 kilowatt hours. Yeah, are you putting that in, Matt? That's about what I'm getting. So when we're putting in whole house air conditioning with splitters, there'll be 9 horsepowers worth of air conditioning scattered throughout the house, with the bulk of it being downstairs. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's a good idea. We're going white on the roof and the top of it. In fact, the whole upper floor, the top floor, I'm going to put in 7. Okay. Um, yeah, I'm gonna put in white tile. Everything's gonna be white except for the my office area, which I want to plan to design maybe a water wall that'll wash over some tile, and aesthetically look nice, and maybe get a trickling effect and cooling. So we might have that as a background noise on future blogs. We'll see how we go. Um, I just took a shout out. I have a friend who's over in it's eastern Philippines, the Bicol area. It's like just south of southern part of Luzon. He's out on the coast there, and he's having a tough time on his old ticker, and he's wondering what to do about it. Um, so if anybody of you knows anything about hospital care in Guam or something like that. He's an American. I'm not American, so I can't really help him. But his name's Gary, and I'll put you on to him. He's on my messenger. He's been seeking some help because where he is out in the provinces, they don't speak much English, and he's having a hard time out there. So put the batteries away from the house. I plan to put the batteries on the top floor on the north side where it gets the least sun, with a full ventilation wall. And so it'll be in a tower, uh, but it'll be cool. And it'll be being at the top, should vent most of any risk away. Um, Price of batteries has plummeted about 80%, I'm told. Uh, expect this. I won't talk about budget considerations in case my solar guy's listening, but yeah, I expect to be substantially less than what I paid in Canada a few years back, which in the end, I was screwed by Hydro One of Ontario, but that's a story for another day. Yeah, well, this guy needs surgery. The doctors apparently told him he could fix him up in 48 hours, but if he doesn't pay the bill, he'll be their prisoner.